Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Housecoin, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss the red hot meme coin markets, what we're looking for there. We're going to talk about upcoming catalysts for the week and the continued success of competing meme coin launch pads. GM. I am joined back with the boys from Dubai. We got Clemente and Easy in the house, as long as Signal, who did a bang-up job of filling in last week, stepping in when we needed her. We had a fun week last week, me, Signal, and Kicks. It's nice to have the boys back, though. Clemente is fresh on a hot take streak. How you feeling? Where did this fire come from?
It came from all the bullshit I saw in Dubai, dude. I was just, when you go through and you have to, well, first off, we had a flight back from Dubai that was 15 and a half hours long. And that does something to you that it takes, it's hard to come back and be all positive after that. So that really gave me a lot of time to think. And I was thinking hard about all the bullshit that people are putting up with and spewing on Twitter, that people are putting up with on in crypto in general. So I was letting them fly yesterday, Ray. I woke up zero jet lag. I don't know if you have any jet lag. I feel like
fucking shit. Absolute fucking garbage. I've been up since like 5:15 in the morning today.
Well, you look good.
I feel terrible. I slept like 14 hours on the plane. The flight was 14 hours. I slept 12, right? Missed both meals. Slept through both meals. Missed any sense of water. So I woke up and I felt like I got hit by a fucking bus. I was so dehydrated. I was waiting for my bags. I was like, I might throw up or pass out or both. Because I missed everything on the plane. I hit the call button to get someone over. I was like, what's the food situation? Like, oh, sir, you missed both meals. I was like, you didn't even think to wake me up. Like, I upgraded, so I was flying business. I'm like, I know I'm asleep. But you couldn't just tap me. What human being should just be starving 30,000 feet in the air? You don't even think to offer me water? Yeah. I've never felt so sick when I landed. I was like, I don't know how and I had a 6-hour layover in Newark, New Jersey. Turns out that airport is literally being told not to fly into because it's not safe.
What?
Yeah. Just Google Newark Airport. The very first thing is Newark Airport, not safe. FAA employee recommends not flying into or out of. And let me tell you, it was a dumpster fire there. I thought Dubai was a dumpster fire with traffic and all the other bullshit. It took me an hour and a half because I had to go through security again. It took me an hour and a half. Then I'm like, yeah, I paid for a business class. I get access to the lounge. As I'm walking into the lounge, some guy in a suit's he goes up to one of the employees. He's like, this place is fucked. I was like, whoa. He's like, there's a 45-minute bathroom line, a 30-minute line for the buffet. What am I paying for lounge access for? I was like, whoa, okay. Looks like this is dumpster fire too. Get on the plane. The guy, the pilot hops on. He's like, yeah, it's about an hour till we take off. There's 22 planes in front of us. I was like, what? So now I wasn't delayed, but the plane was fucking delayed. Granted, I was
hoping I could fly into Newark for tax reasons.
Don't.
But it seems like I can't.
Do not. You're better off flying into Brisbane, North Dakota, Nick. Do not fly into Newark. Okay.
How was the conference? Aside from the flight, how was the conference for you two? The week?
We didn't go to Token. Sweet Basecamp was sick. I got to give them a ton of credit. I know we do work with them, but it reminded me so much of Solana Breakpoint in 2021, pre-FTX collapse. The first year they did Breakpoint. It was small.
In Portugal.
Yeah, it was small, but not too small, so it felt very filled out. They had a perfectly sized, not like an auditorium hall, like a conference area where there's booths and smaller stuff. Tons of people building some cool stuff. The panels were really good. Dude, they had a few actors for bringing blockchain movies on, and I was like, this is impressive because I don't really know a bunch of film stuff, but Pio and Frisk were shocked at who they had up there. DeLorean's launching car reservations on Sui, which I thought was interesting because I reserved
that car company is just continuously trying to stay relevant. My God.
But that was interesting to me because I sold a Cybertruck pre-order before I took delivery on it. So that hearing that could be done on chain was interesting.
You sold it?
Yeah. So I pre-ordered it.
For profit?
Yeah. Dude, I was one of the first 100 to pre-order Cybertruck. So that delivery was day one. and people pay a premium on it. And I only knew that because it happened with the original Teslas.
We're getting
How much
closer
did
to
you
the
make
world
on
where
that?
Easy's flipping cards on
$1,500. It wasn't a lot. The pre-order's $300. So I made a 5X on that.
Were there? You said it reminded you of Solana Breakpoint. Were there a lot of teenagers smoking weed at
No.
the SWE event?
No. So what caught me totally off guard was I didn't know a single person there. Like, I knew Jack. That was it. Other than that, not a single person there besides like maybe one or two other creators. But it was like a net new audience who were, and I'm talking every panel and speaker session completely full. Like that was the nice thing to see, was like there was genuine interest. Clayno's panel was awesome about how they want and why they want to expand to SWE. I thought that was really, really interesting. You had Raoul Paul there talking about the M2 money supply and SWE's price action. So that was really cool.
What did Clayno say? Why?
It was just they feel that from the perspective of like mobile apps in development with I believe it's Move is the language SWE's on. They said that it was just way more developer friendly. So they were like, what we're trying to do with the user rail is going to be significantly easier, where we can abstract it from the user. And obviously, we got the news that the Apple Store approved for like back end payments without the 30% tax. So they were like, this just makes it significantly easier. They teased their mobile game, and then now doing this avenue of free NFTs, cheap gas, all the same like pulls that Sol had, but it's a net new eco. So like they felt they were getting a lot more support directly from SWE.
What was Raoul's take on the global macro?
He thinks we're up only.
Yeah,
Up only from him.
now,
No, like no recession, nothing. He's like, we go straight through that and up only.
He thinks we've been in a recession, and now with the M2 money supply starting to turn back on and print, he thinks we're just going to run. He's like, right now is like, you had your accumulation zone. You should have been buying that entire dip down, because now it's blast off to all-time high and higher.
The banana zone.
Yeah.
Very interesting. That's good.
He's been saying this for a while.
It's the same people calling for ETH all-time high. Like they're all crazy.
It's like Alex Becker for 12 months straight saying it's the bottom for alts.
Yeah. Alex Becker calling alt season, ETH individuals calling ETH all-time high, and Raoul Paul saying banana zone. You can't be wrong if you say it every day. Like, you can't be wrong.
It's the way the crypto works, though, isn't it? Like, you get most of your majority gains in a select few days, and then the rest of the time you're just chopping her downwards. So you're going to be wrong most days if you have that take. It's tough. That being said, we're going to move on to get into the meat of the show. But first, we're going to thank the partners of this episode, BlockBet. Sign up now if you haven't before. Bodogos.com/BlockBet. They made some big announcements over the weekend. They extended their block token cash back into May. So that was running through February, or running through April, now running into May. So essentially what that means is 20% of all bets you make, you're going to get cash back if you lose. So if you bet $100, you lose it, you're only going to lose $80 if you bet in the block token. If you're a whale, that is up to 30%. I think a whale status is like a $5,000 bet or more. In addition, they're also announcing daily buybacks for the block token, adding a little bit of buy pressure there. Basically, any day that they are profitable in May, they're using the net revenue to buy block token back. So they're working on stabilizing the price of block and incentivizing users to bet using the block token. Like I said, you can sign up right now, bodogos.com/blockbet. We got some big basketball games going on here, Easy. What plays you got for me today?
Can I just say one thing, Ray? This is actually pretty cool because what I've been liking, if you go to BlockBet's Twitter, they have been announcing, and it seems like they're doing it every day this this month. They're sharing what their profit is for the day, right? So they're like, hey, we made 27 grand this month or 22 grand today. That all goes to buying the block token. So they either making money. You're either making money on this thing or you're contributing to the token buybacks, which is a pretty interesting mechanism for their token buybacks.
Yeah, and if you're betting the block token, you're getting some of that back as well.
Boom.
So like basically, like if you think about it, like when you want to bet in a token, you don't want to take on the risk of that token, but now they're kind of mitigating that a bit with buybacks on the platform. So like they're looking to stabilize block price and incentivize block betting. So they're really like diving into the utility of their like native token. So really interesting. They're continually looking at this, and it's good to know that like the token's not like just a second thought for them. It's basically like at the forefront of their decision making. That being said, easy. Give me some basketball winners. We got a big series starting tonight, right? We got Knicks Celtics.
Knicks Celtics. I like Knicks plus 9.5.
Okay.
I like that, and I like Nuggets plus 10.5. I like both dogs.
Nick
Knicks
loves the
9.5.
Knicks, right?
Nick's a diehard Heat fan now because he moved.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think
Nick's
I
a
prefer
Heat,
the.
Dolphins, Florida Panthers,
I'm
No,
a,
they're
I'm
not
a
good.
Knicks.
University of Miami.
What was the
I'm a
what was the
goal-
next one?
I'm a Wizards, Golden State Warriors, Knicks fan.
So it was he liked the Nuggets and the Warriors, right?
The Nuggets money line.
Yeah.
So plus
No,
310 is-
Nuggets plus 10.5 and Knicks plus 9.5.
Okay. We'll follow both. We're not going to fade here.
Oh, you do individual spreads that you pick?
You can, yeah.
No,
You
but
can
that's what you do,
individual,
Easy?
You can do parlays.
Yeah,
All kinds
I
of
go
stuff.
for like individual bets on it versus taking like a parlay because you can hit one,
No, I'm
lose
not-
the other, and be fine.
I'm just saying I always bet money line versus
No, I like the spread on this, dude. The money line's like minus 400 for the C's and minus like 610 for OKC. Like it's crazy. Like $610 bet to win 100. I mean, you can take the dog and just hope.
Game one, NBA, anything can happen. You can have some dogs really come in. Hockey last night. Anyone watch a hockey game or see what happened there?
Nope.
Yeah, so like the number 1 seed was playing the 8 seed. It was game 7, Winnipeg Jets, and the Jets were down like 2 goals with a minute left, and they're about to get eliminated as like the top seed in the playoffs, and they scored a goal with like a second left to send it to overtime. Ended up winning. Like, absolutely wild game. Not many hockey fans out there, but that was a wild one. That being said, we can jump back into crypto now. Thank you to BlockBet. If you need to sign up, bodogos.com/BlockBet. Take advantage of their block token cashback and buybacks as well. Signal, whenever you're ready, you can take it away with the weather report.
Absolutely, Ray. Let's get into it on Monday, May 5th. Looking at that crypto roundup, we got the majors are slightly down. Bitcoin is holding 94K, Ethereum at 1,806, and Solana at $144. Over the past 24 hours, top 3 stories. Well, firstly, Tether has entered the AI race with an announcement this morning. They are developing personal infinite intelligence, an open source AI that can run on any device. The framework will be integrated with Tether's WDK with payment support in USDT and Bitcoin. Next up, it was a bittersweet day for traditional finance as one of the legends of the industry, Berkshire Hathaway CEO Warren Buffett, has announced his retirement coming later this year. Berkshire Hathaway's cash stockpile also just hit a new all-time high, crossing 345 billion. He couldn't have left the company in a better position. And then finally, more success was seen on the newly released Boop launchpad, with the Boop token being listed on Binance Alpha. A new token rumor was also launched, with news account Zuma launching the Pork token, which ran over a 5 million market cap. That is all for the crypto and traditional finance news. It is back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Signal. More good news coming for Boop. Nick, did you take any action on that? Oh, he's not even here anymore. I looked up and he's not there. Easy. So you've been
taking
like saying
action on what?
there he is on the Boop, like launching a token. I know we talked about this at length on Friday. I'm wondering if you.
Oh
had
no,
no,
that was an
So
entire
Easy.
waste of a conversation.
Yeah, Easy hasn't either. We saw another one launch here that crossed the threshold. This is the Cult of John Pork, and I believe this is by the news account Zoomer. Is that right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So he was able to launch a coin successfully. Like, this just feels market made, right? Like, I wonder what they're spending.
Dude, I just went on boop.fun and I see someone I follow on Twitter just launch a token 17
Really?
seconds ago. Shiv launched one.
I
Do
guess
not
that
buy
Dubai
this.
deal just hit.
Dude, you know what? I'm sick of these Twitter influencers just being straight up bitches. Like, if you're gonna launch a token, launch one. Don't say, "Oh, don't buy this shit. I'm farming the airdrop. Hey, don't buy. It's gonna go to zero." Like, launch a token like a real fucking man, dude, and give it a real name. Fucking pump that shit to a milli like a real fucking person, dude. None of this bullshit, man. I'm so sick of it. I'm gonna launch one, and it's actually gonna be sick.
Do it and make this bitch run. Now that you've said it, you can't sugarcoat it. Go out there, launch this shit, and bag work. If you're saying
Launch it right now.
Don't tell people not to buy it.
Launch it right now. Run it to 1 million,
bag
dude.
Work like a fucking champion. Put it on your fucking chest. Say it with your chest.
The only thing I do want to launch one, but I'm gonna make it
right now.
I don't know what the ticker would be. I want it to be a ticker.
Oh, you don't know what it is? Bro,
No.
Figure it out. Take 5 seconds right now. We'll go have a conversation. Figure it out. Come up with the answer to launch it.
Do it now, Nick says. Do it right now.
Stop being a little bitch like all the other influencers, dude. Oh, what are you afraid of, Clemente? What are you nervous about?
I want to have a real token. I want to have some. Okay, and when I say real token, I'm not saying I'm a pump. I'm not saying to buy this shit.
No, you said I'm gonna pump it to
No,
a mill like a fucking man. You said that. Words out
Yeah.
of your mouth. So
Those
drop
were
the
your
fucking
words.
token and pump it like a man to $1 million. $1 million. Raise the fucking price targets, you little bitch.
5 million, dude.
Get the instant unlock and then never talk about it again and rug your audience like an adult. All right? Be an adult. Rug the fucking audience. Let me just change my fantasy top deck real quick. I got 37 minutes.
Oh, I didn't do that this week. Oh, that's rough. Man. Okay. I don't know if we need to talk about this much more because we talked about this for the
We
entirety
spent
of
all of Friday.
Literally all of Friday talking about like whether Nick should launch a token or not.
And then Easy hops into Discord and just is like, here's my 10 reasons why I won't be launching a token on this platform and why doing so is being a person without integrity and a violation of all the values of our own internal organization.
Whoa.
Nick's a jerk if he does this.
No. The very last line is Nick's dropped multiple before, so it doesn't really matter. That's the last sentence.
Someone brought up tokens that we had on here that I didn't even remember. Like, what was there was like something backpack. Some
backpack
monkey and dancing chicken or something like that.
Chicken with drip. Chicken with drip.
Chicken with drip and backpack.
No, we didn't launch chicken with drip.
No, the monkey
They were just
and
the
you didn't
early-
launch a monkey.
We didn't
one
launch
either.
backpack monkey either.
Yeah.
You also
we
shilled
didn't?
anal when it was at 4K market cap, if you remember, on a Friday night.
Key man. We also had
yes, I remember that.
fraud. We had fraud as well. Where just live developed the website with kicks on the show.
Yeah. I was like, let's get a website up for that. Now you can just now I would just copy another website, throw the photo up and be like, okay. The problem is I wish it was 5 seconds. It took more like 10 minutes, which is like outrageous.
Chicken with drip. That was a good ticker.
The crazy thing is this thing ran up to 600K on the show too. Like back in the day, you could actually pump some stuff. It wasn't just like heavily paper handed.
Well, hold on. Launch your token.
Yo, chill.
You said you were gonna run it to $1 million real quick. Run it to 5 million and stop being a little bitch.
Shark with. Yeah, there were some good tokens here. We pumped during was that eggplant season, I guess, when we just needed anything to do. We're talking about. We were just picking random tokens and pumping them on Fridays. Yeah, but we have a lot to talk about today. We saw the Boop token success. Also, this news with Tether getting into the AI game is interesting. Nick, did you read anything about this? I know you've been playing around in the AI space. You have any thoughts on Tether entering into this and kind of like shifting gears a little bit?
Well, sorry, what's the full story? Can you give me the full lay of the land on this?
their CEO tweeted out, Tether.ai is coming soon. Personal infinite intelligence, a fully open source AI runtime capable to adapt and evolve on any hardware and device. No API keys, no central point of failure. Fully modular and composable, WDK infused to enable USDT and Bitcoin payments. Tether AI tech will enable an unstoppable peer-to-peer network of billions of AI agents.
Excuse me. So they're becoming like, so they're a hosting company. What's the deal with this? Like, I don't. So I can host my agents on Tether.
So it looks like it's this open source framework. So like essentially you would like spin up an instance of their AI agent or AI app on any device, and then it comes with support for like using Tether and Bitcoin as payment rails.
Well, this is very interesting. I don't know enough about. Can you send me a link to this in the private chat? I don't know enough about this. I've seen I've seen so there's two separate things. Well, there's actually more than two, but there's two areas that we most commonly see. We're just scrolling over a marketing page. This isn't helpful at all.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Can you just send me the link to this though?
It's in the private chat.
Rather than us click around the website.
Yeah.
There's 2 or 3 areas. Basically, you have decentralized storage, which is one thing it was talking about. It said unlimited file size. That's going after Filecoin,
Walrus,
which is essentially IPFS. Is Walrus built on IPFS?
I don't know.
Easy's
No,
nodding his head no. Okay, so you have Walrus, and then you have something like this potentially for data storage. You have computation, which would be like competing with Amazon EC2. I don't know what crypto-based services there are that provide something like that. And then there's AI. Oh my God, what's the term? Inference. AI inference hosting, essentially, which is the stuff for powering different models. Helping you both develop your models as well as host them, so that you can have the API for creating these different endpoints. Anyways, the bottom line is, it's not clear to me what the actual deliverable is here for Tether. I also wonder why. Like, is there not more growth opportunity in the stablecoin market? Have they capped all opportunities? Like, why this?
I mean, isn't this kind of just like a hedge against growing AI? And if they could capture the stablecoin market, like say we get to a place where like AI is spending like on the blockchain, if they want to like corner that using USDT because they're directly integrating their wallet development kit into it. So it's kind of, isn't it a play to just to like expand stablecoin growth into AI? Like that's my thought process.
So the agents are going to be transacting
in USDT.
Well, yeah, but they'll also probably be able to transact in anything, because you're like, what's interesting is that you'll see entities like Visa and MasterCard enter into the state, like having partnership with stablecoin providers and getting more and more into crypto. And then you're seeing crypto entities also making sure that they're not just hedged within the crypto industry, but diversified into the traditional rails as well. You'll just get to a point where it'll just be like, well, how do you want to pay for this transaction? Do you want to do it with your credit card? Do you want to do it with PayPal? Or do you want to do it with crypto rails? And I think that's why they're thinking about this. AI just seems like the perfect intersection for them. And I imagine if people like Tether or Circle aren't in this, at some point they will be in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
This is just a case of who moved my cheese, right? And or where the puck is going, and that's their play. It just seems so obvious as a business.
Who Moved My Cheese? That was a classic book.
That was a classic book. That was
I don't even remember.
I don't remember who
moved
moved the cheese.
and I was like, is that analogy even correct? I don't know.
You either know it. It's one of those. If you know, you know. But if you don't, I'm going to go back to hockey, because more people know about hockey, and we're going to go where the puck is going. So yeah, they're going where the puck is.
Moved my cheese.
WMMT Clemente.
Yeah, there's a classic case of the giving tree.
Oh man. So we've seen red hot meme coin markets over the last.
Is it red hot, Ray? Is it red hot?
Yeah, I think so.
It's pretty trash to me. I'm gonna be honest. I think the meme coin market's smoked.
He was trading Condom last night in the Discord. What happened to that token? I lost 0.2 soul on that bad boy.
I lost 2.5 soul on that.
2.5 soul?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What was the thesis?
It was funny. It was funny. It was buy this and keep it in your wallet.
What was the joke?
Condom stays on.
That you're not going to use it?
Nick, you're not the target audience for these, so I don't even. Frankly, I shouldn't have even shared it in the Discord if you were in there.
Maybe, dude. It's kind of ridiculous the way you just shilled to pump your own bags. Clemente went and bought a token called Condom, does a drive-by shilling in the Discord, and just like literally just drops the fucking token, says nothing about it, and still can't articulate why he bought this thing. It's literally just a word. It's just condom. So what's the joke? Like, if you're still laughing, is it because I'm not 13 sitting in a sex ed class? Is that what's supposed to be funny?
All right,
No.
Nick. So the ticker is Condom, and then the name of the token is buy and keep it in your wallet. So like, it's like that's
Brilliant.
the joke. That's the joke.
I said it was
Okay, wow.
high risk. I said, yo, yo, guys, this is a high risk one. If you want to ride with me, I'm in it. Sometimes those miss. Sometimes those are bangers. I've had straight bangers in there.
Is that the alpha you're going to share to the app?
Taking a flyer here. High risk.
I would never share this with the app, Nick. It was at 60K. And it did a 2x, by the way. If you keep going down, people go, oh shit. Yo, nice cook, dude. Yo, Big C, dominating. Big C, you're the greatest.
We don't want much, Nick.
Huh? Anyways, I've had other
You got to be
plays
there
in
the second it happens. Well, then publish it to the app. Let's see what happens. I'll start trading based on the push notification when you guys start publishing. That's going to be like, we'll be live tomorrow, so you can start pushing out stories and drop that alpha.
I cannot wait to see the first Condom-esque ticker that Clemente launches. I'm gonna see a ticker come across. I'm like, yeah, that's a Clemente ticker coming across.
Clemente out here saying he can just pump a coin to 1 million, can't get Condom past 60K.
Well, I wasn't trying to pump that. I'm informing. There's a difference between informing and pumping. If I'm trying to pump something, you're gonna know. You're gonna know if I'm trying to pump something. I've got pump juice. I've never pumped anything in my life. I've got, if I pump something, dog, it's over. It's over.
That's a good point.
How do you know?
Hasn't spent any pump juice.
I haven't spent any of my pump juice. You've spent a lot of yours. You actually have recharged yours, Nick. Your pump juice is back, but you lost the pump juice for a little bit.
Oh, okay. Shots fired. Shots fired. I'm going to start posting random tickers.
No, don't.
On the timeline. How many people think I should drop a boop.fun token right now? Show Clemente how to do it.
Are you actually going to bag work it?
AKA, will I tweet it out?
Tweet it, talk about it for like 6 to 8 hours, nuke on your audience, and get it to like a mil so you can get the unlock. And then sweep Bodoggos with the unlock.
What if I do?
If I did the boop token and got the unlock, I think I could sweep every Bodoggo listed. Every single one listed.
Is that all that it costs?
I think $250,000, yeah.
Should we just do that with our money?
Just launch, all three of us launch the boop and just push Bodoggos to 1,000 soul floor.
Pio's busy talking about trading options, and I'm like, yeah, but we could just buy all the Bodoggos.
Nick, you know what's funny is as soon as you started talking about launching a token, now there's fake Choose Riches launching them. They put an L instead of an I. Look at your baby pictures on there. Rich airdrop Colt.
Oh
Like,
my
look
god,
at
they
all
took
these-
my baby picture. That's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, they did his cake pic. There was his kid picture on Friday. There's so many Nick tokens out there now. But yeah, somebody like we were like talking about on Friday, and somebody launched it from like the L instead of the I and Choose Rich, like launched it, and they have this weird like check mark verification, but, like it came from Twitter. So like it's a weird.
This
thing
is what's double fucked up is that basically there's an active scammer in our audience that's listening to the show that's the one squatting on the scam account, of which they're trying to follow people, and I get DMs about that scam account.
He's listening to you right now. He's like, ha ha ha.
You're like the fucking salt of the earth, whoever that is. Literally, one of the worst people ever. You provide no value to society.
Looking at other meme coins, we had a pretty big runner with Gork. Elon Musk changed his profile picture to Gork. This thing ran to just shy of $100 million.
It's looking pretty strong on this chart.
Sell it. What else? Why would you want to buy? Like the reason why everyone was
Donald
like, "Oh
Trump
my god,"
is going to change his PFP.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh my god, that we've lost. Like the trenches are so cooked. This thing only ran to 100 mil after Elon changes PFP." It's a niche ass Twitter bot that has a token not even associated with it. Someone launched a token for it as a proxy for the attention. What's next for this thing? Why would anyone want to buy this? People want to buy it if they think it can go to 500 mil. People like, what's the next big thing? Is that literally Elon changes PFP to it?
Clemente, you're showing that you don't have the pulse on culture. I mean, that's pretty clear to me.
Clemente, it sounds like
right
you
now.
can't even pump a token to like 200K. Like, prove me wrong.
I don't think he can pump it to 50K.
I don't think you can get it to graduate.
I don't think anyone's going to buy it at all.
There's no way anyone's going to buy it.
We're not doing this.
We saw some other runners. We talked about pork. Housecoin is retraced a little bit down to 67 million. Clemente, you've been pretty like outspoken that you don't like any of these like quote unquote like Web3 native meme coins. And that ones that are like naturally occurring and then get a token are your kind of like bread and butter. Like, what's the thesis there? And why don't you think any of these like native coins are going to be pumping?
It's because no one's like, I'm interested in coins that with some shot have a chance of retail actually buying.
Condom.
Like, yeah. These coins like Housecoin, these inside jokes for crypto Twitter are so bad and they're so stupid. Like there's no way they're not going to like the reality is if we get another retail season for meme coins, which we had a taste of in October of last year with Chill Guy, the only chance of that happening is them buying. This is my theory, is that they're more likely to buy something that they see on their TikTok every single day, like Chicken Jockey, like Chill Guy. They're way more likely to buy that than Housecoin. They're more likely to buy that than Pepe. They're more likely to buy it than Fartcoin, probably. And I don't know what the catalyst is.
You're
for them.
so wrong about Fartcoin, dude. Fartcoin is the one. Fartcoin has articles being written about it because people are mad. You have to understand that entire side of things. There's no better marketing than that. Fartcoin is the pissing people off token.
I like Fartcoin. I think it's a different audience. I think
coming after Fartcoin.
It's my only meme coin bag that I hold.
Clemente,
Fartcoin
isn't it also a bit chicken and egg as well? Isn't it a bit chicken and egg because you want retail to run, but the native tokens need to run first, and then normally what happens is retail follows. So it's a little bit like you could end up missing a huge chunk of the native cycle waiting for this TikTok trend to come back. And then that normally signifies the end. Well, at least last time it kind of signified like you're approaching the frothiness of the market. So I don't know. I think I'd rather just be in the native tokens, which I know you're saying they're like really bad inside jokes, but there's enough people who get the joke that still make it interesting to see these run. Because once they start to run, retail will then start to run. But I feel like you've missed a big chunk of the run then. And also these intervals are getting shorter as well. Like, so, okay, we had November, took us up to basically the whole Hayden thing with Trump dropping, and then the market was cooked. So like the next interval going into summer is likely to be a lot less longer. So do you even have time to wait for retail and the TikTok trends that you're talking about?
I think here's how I'm thinking about it. Well, first off, with Chill Guy, the reason why it caught everyone off guard was crypto Twitter owned none of it. They had zero exposure to it, and TikTok actually crushed that trade. It was and what I'm expecting, what I'm interested in is another one of those. I don't know what that moment is, but there's these moments in internet culture that happen like once a month or once every 2 months where everyone's talking about this one thing for like 2 days, 3 days, and you can't get it. And a meme coin of those things feel interesting to me. Chill Guy was one of those things where you saw it everywhere and it was really memeable.
I think what you need to be thinking about, Clemente, here is a little bit of a blue ocean strategy.
Okay.
You know, that to me is something that you want to be considering when you're thinking about, meme coins in the market. You don't want to go where everybody else is. You want to go to other areas. I suggest that you read the book and you think about that for a bit. And I think it's time for you to kind of just lean in when it comes to, really pumping those bags. That's an opportunity for you. It's also a little bit, if you think about it, as Seth Godin once said, it's kind of like the purple cow. And you're looking for purple cows. Okay? That's what you're looking for here. And you're saying, I'm just a purple cow hunter. I'm not going to tip the cow. I'm looking to just highlight it, take a photo of it, and highlight it to the rest of society, and I'm going to buy it as well.
But how often do you see a purple cow, Nick? That's the point, right? How often do they come across?
You don't see it that often, but what you need to do is awaken the giant from within, Clemente. And what'll happen is as you go and unlock that, that's going to give you an opportunity that in the interim, it's going to give you the persistence, the determination, the longevity to make it during the gaps in between each of those individual purple cows. You're not going to know when the purple cow comes. You're just going to be driving in the car and it's going to show up off the side of the road. You're trying to predict it. You're trying to create a hypothesis around it. But in fact, all that you needed to do was go, search within. And it's time for you to maybe develop something from 0 to 1. And that opportunity, what I'm going to say is this token. You should go and do that.
Ray's just crazy.
Ray's muted.
Ray's just riffing to himself right now.
My dogs are howling upstairs. I have to get them to stop. I've had this like weird mechanism where I like play to a speaker upstairs and they be quiet. I was gonna say it's a lot more like green eggs and ham. Like you need to try it. Like you need to dive in and try it. You're saying you don't like it, you don't like it. Just have a bite, and then you might find that you do like it, and like you do love green eggs and ham. Also, that book's like 80 pages. If you haven't read it lately, I read it to my daughter who loves it and requests it all the time. But it is a lot. It is a long book.
But the places you go may be a better one.
It's a banger.
Yep, that's a good one. That is a good one. Yes, I mean we have seen movement in the meme coin markets. Clemente thinks that there's nothing like good coming out, but we are seeing like a ton of volume, seeing a ton of runners get over like 5-10 million on the first couple of days. So I think there's heat here, and I think there's money to be made in the trenches. Is there anything else you want to highlight on the meme coin side, Easy, before we move on?
This is the least interested I've been in the trenches in the last 2.5 months since Libra.
When you say that, though, Clemente, I'd like for you to start with why and explain that to me.
It doesn't feel like it's all manufactured. Like, I don't know about all, but it does.
I'm the only one enjoying this joke, by the way. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't even know what I want. Right. Let's just move on. Let's just move
No,
on.
no, no, Clemente, go, no. But is it no? Come on, tell us. Look, why?
There's no
Why does
reason.
everything?
We're back to what we were doing in last year, where it was like random bullshit daily runners that literally have no reason to why they run. It's just these manufactured pumps where these people decide, hey, we're going to launch this thing. Here's the narrative. And they just pump the hell out of it. Supply controlled bullshit. And it's annoying. And it's like I feel like I had some sort of pulse on how to value some of these things the last 2 months. Now it's back to just like, I have no advantage anymore. It's back to like the LA vape cabal. And I'm just using them as an example because we all know what that was like, where it was like these daily runners would run a 50 to 100 mil. And it was like, how fast can you get it? And it's a speed to market to be able to buy this thing and sell it 2 hours later. And it's these Christmas trees. I have no interest in buying them.
Yep, that's fair. Yesterday, we also saw Coinbase release a new commercial. Did you guys see this commercial?
I did see it.
No,
Taking
I did
a-
not.
I
Taking a
didn't,
little-
but I got the push notification about it from ChooseRich.live.
Taking a little shot at the traditional finance system here. We'll give a little play.
If a Bitcoin was the size of a quarter, all 21 million of them would fit inside a single shipping container. But to fit the dollars the Fed prints on average every day, you'd need 72 shipping containers. Each year, you'd need 26,280 containers. And to fit what they've printed in the last decade, well, you'd need a lot more than that.
Yeah, so that was basically Coinbase's commercial, and they're basically positioning Bitcoin as like a scarce asset, and that inflation is just rampant with like US dollars, which it is. I think it's a little disingenuous to like put the Bitcoin as the size of a quarter when they're like trying to compare it like in terms of like dollars, because like if a Bitcoin's $90-some thousand and you multiply it by the total Bitcoin supply, it's much bigger than all of those other graphics they're using. But I do think it's an interesting like shot at like the Fed, like being that they're like directly kind of like attacking the Fed policy and like the money printing, being that they're regulated in the US. So I think that was like an odd thing to do. I don't think you have that under like less favorable like administration.
Did people, when we had the boomers buying houses post war, were they as stressed out about making money as people are today?
What does that mean?
It's a good
Are
question.
people stressed out? Are people like, who's stressed out about making money? Like, are you talking about like crypto degens? Are you comparing crypto degens to boomers buying real estate?
I think the question was self-explanatory. What's the impact of them printing all this money? People can't afford a
Inflation.
house.
Yeah.
They can't buy things. The impact is stress. That is the fact that none of y'all understand what I was talking about is a privileged position. I will say that much.
House coin coded.
People are like, they're like, what are you talking about? Financial stress. What are you even talking about? I'm so fucking rich. Like, what are you talking about?
No, okay, I understand. I understand what you're saying now. Like you said, you stress it as making money as opposed to being like affording purchases. Like affording.
I would
things.
assume that young people are probably pretty stressed out with trying to find a job, earning enough
They're
money,
smoked.
trying to
Nick,
keep up.
They're literally smoked. I think it was like 30 or 40% of the tickets to Coachella got bought with buy now, pay later, which is insane.
Dude, I think, well, maybe the reality is a lot of people are just happy to use. I mean, I used to be willing to use credit cards to buy stuff when I was fresh out of college, and I racked up a bunch of debt, then sold a company and paid off the debt very quickly. It was like $10,000 or $15,000. It wasn't a lot, but at the time out of college, it felt like a lot. But I just feel like there are a ton of people who feel the pressure. Do you realize that 70% Americans live paycheck to paycheck? Over 70% of Americans.
Yeah.
Would you say that there's probably stress as a result of that? My guess is yes. Who does that commercial cater to? Who gives a shit if they're printing more money? They're saying there's a problem. And the problem is that's the source of the cause of your problem of not being able to afford anything. If you're going to buy anything, buy Bitcoin. That's what they're saying.
But they can't afford. There's that audience can't afford to buy Bitcoin, according to you.
Well,
Because
they
they're
can
living paycheck to
buy
paycheck,
now,
right?
pay later, I guess.
Is the strategy just to rack up as much debt, crush your traditional credit score because it's not going to matter with decentralized lending? If you have a 0 credit score and you can just lend, like borrow decentralized without worrying about a credit score on chain, is that the strategy?
Well, let's put it this way. The whole meme coin market that we talk about, 80% of that was people getting fucking wrecked because they're desperate for money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like straight up the average person. So I ran a test for the Choose Rich Live app for those that aren't signed up. It was sign up, put your credit card in, and I'll keep delaying until like the app's live. But I wanted to see how many people would sign up, and a decent number of people signed up. And I had a bug the other day where it like charged people. I refunded everybody and switched all their subscriptions down to $9 a month, which is and delayed it until June. So they'll have close to a month of a trial at least. And they can access it right now. But the when that charge went through, 35% of the payments got they failed and they bounced basically. And it was people that used things like Cash App to purchase a transaction through Stripe. And that entire demographic of people, which is not all of the people that I'm targeting with that we're targeting with the app, but that demographic of people is a large representation of people that are operating within the meme coin space. The taxi cab driver that's trying to pay the bills and running multiple jobs or working extra hours or whatever it is to support his family or her family. I've met both men and women immigrant taxi cab drivers in New York that are trying to just pay their fucking bills. And they're degen meme coin trading in the taxi. And we take a photo of that and be like, damn, this thing's sick, man. This is so big, blah, blah, blah. Those are people who are desperate for money. And they're coming from a place where they can't even save a fucking dollar. There's no such thing as savings. So anyways, my just question here, and that's why when that commercial came out to me, it's like, what is the implication of printing all this money? That is the impact. That is the implication of printing all this money. That everyone is fucking
Nick, it's also to
diluted.
say though, like I use privacy cards for a lot of like payments, monthly payments, so that I don't get recharged if I don't intend to use it after a month.
Yeah, no, I know. Mine may not be a perfect analysis, but I'm telling you, a large number of people are like that, and I've seen this at the last company that I was at, where literally the entire app is targeting paycheck to paycheck people. And those people are just getting charged fees. But
Nick,
anyways,
also, sorry, going back to your original question of like, are people more stressed today than they were when you're saying like post-war? I mean, that's a really tough, sorry, that was your original question, right?
yeah, I'm saying were people less, I asked it in an inverted way because like post-war, everyone seemed happy. Everyone was able to afford buying houses. It was like, but were people as stressed at that point in time? Like, because everyone reflects, glowingly about those days. We don't talk about the negative things that people were dealing with, but I'm just wondering, what level of stress people had at that point in time relative to today when it came to like financially stressed.
But you also have to think about that interest rates were a lot higher back then. I don't want to talk about specific countries. Like I can
In the
only talk
80s,
about the
yes.
UK. Yeah, but like looking at the 80s, so like having to service your debt at variable interest rates at that time was extremely stressful for a lot of people because your rates were going up to like almost 15%. So there definitely was financial stress, but it was just different. Also, as well, like consumption was different back then. Like people traveled less. They didn't have subscriptions to things like Netflix. They didn't have the stress of like private schools, but they would have had the stress of having to feed a bigger family because they had more children back then. So it's just like it's a really difficult question to answer because consumption and lifestyle and demographics has changed so much that financial stress today would look very different to what it was back then. We might look back and be like, oh my God, interest rates, 15%. God damn it, they were cooked. But then they would maybe look at us and be like, yeah, but you've only got one kid. You've only got to put food on a plate for one kid while I've got 5. So I think it's like really relative to like those times, and salaries were also completely different as well. And government help was completely different. I don't know. I can't answer that question because I just think it's all relative. Lifestyle changes over that time.
Okay.
I think it's different ways of earning money too. Like my grandfather was talking about like way back when. I mean, this could be like Depression era stuff though, like going out and hunting animals like in like the surrounding like towns and like with his buddies and bringing them back to sell their hides to like local like clothes vendors to get like money to give to his dad to like pay for food. And it's like some wild stuff you have to do to make money.
Sorry, this is your Mongolian grandfather?
This is my Polish grandfather. I don't know if the Mongolian comes from his side, but he's Polish. He married my Native American / Spanish grandmother. So like maybe the Mongolian is in there with like the Spanish conquistadors. Who knows? Like it could be anywhere. I'm quite the mix of everything.
If you go to Cuba, there's an entire generation of people that had to live off of like eating dogs in the street. So I don't know. There's definitely people were definitely stressed at that point in time. There's been financial crises throughout the world. So I guess maybe the question was dumb. Maybe the question was dumb, but I appreciate you entertaining it and absorbing all that time with it. Sorry.
Look at Armando. Armando just says, "Shut up, Nick."
Real estate in quotations talk with Armando.
That's crazy.
Is that
Edward
you?
Armando Escobar seems like a real jerk.
He said, "Stop talking about my dad in Cuba." Maybe he feels offended.
He probably sounds poor. Probably grew up that way.
Armando, are you Cubano?
Moving on, we were just talking a little bit about money printing coming out of the Fed. We have the interest rate decision coming this week. Looks like it's going to be no change. We're looking at 98% chance of no movement, but it will be interesting to see what language happens there when Powell speaks. That's coming on Wednesday afternoon is when we'll get that.
Did you see the
Watch out.
Did you see the guy that bet it was like an $18 million bet that no interest rate change this year?
No interest rate change at all this year. So that was
I don't know where that bet was placed.
0 at 13%, $18 million bet here. Let's look at the graph to see if it was placed here because you would see some wild.
Well, it says only $1 million in there.
Yeah, so it's not here. Yeah, I don't even know where you can get that kind of liquidity on this bet. I did not see that. But now looking at these, let's take a brief look at these percentages to see where we're shaking out. So you're looking at 3 or less is now the majority, 20, 30, 40, 50, 63% chance we see 3 or less. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It was looking for a bit there that we were going to be getting 4 as a baseline. But now it's kind of flipped back a bit towards 3 or less. So we'll have to continue to watch. I mean, a lot of the
I'm going with less.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. It does seem to feel that way, and we are trending in that direction. I feel like you're just always open to like some sort of like black swan or like emergency event on the upside. But if things continue and tread this way, I feel like the odds of 3 or less without any sort of major shift is very, very high. But that'll be something to watch out for on Wednesday. Other crypto news to watch for this week. There's some posts saying that U.S. trade deals could be announced this week. That could be interesting if we see some trade deals rolling in. Could make the macro picture look a little bit more positive, I'd say. Yeah, and that's about it for like catalysts upcoming this week. Other interesting stories that I want to dive into. Did you guys see the Maldives news? $8.8 billion crypto hub getting set to
Posted it in my video yesterday.
What did you just
People
call
said I needed to workshop my joke. What was that?
it? You said the Maldives.
The Maldives
The Maldives.
have a $9
Maldives.
billion crypto hub. I'm like, so are we all living in overwater bungalows while we run our crypto business? Well, explain to me how this is going down.
Nick, you're just not a proponent of the Maldives.
With Signal, why were you feeling the same thing where you're like, what are you
No,
talking about?
because he said Ray said something, and then I heard like billion, and I was like, wait, I know that news, but it's about the Maldives, and then I just realized he said Maldives.
Sorry,
I said Maldives.
Sorry, I'm not one of those. I don't have the financial privilege to be just trapsing over to the Maldives. Would it be?
It looks like there is a city there, which is interesting. I did not realize that. I want to apologize to all the Maldivians.
No, Nick, I think that's what they're trying to build. I think that's like an imaginary picture.
No, that.
I'm serious. No, I'm being serious. I think that's a fake. Like it's like a blueprint. There's no downtown Maldives, I don't think.
Is this just
They're not doing that to the Maldives. Okay, first of all, I'm sorry, but they're not going to do that. Okay, it's like a protected area. It's a protected area. They're not going to do that. This is the Maldives. It's like the pristine white beaches, beautiful. They're not going to put downtown Dubai.
I'm so excited
on
to
the
see
Maldives.
KFC in downtown Maldives.
Nando's.
They're putting it.
Wait, so none of them. Where was that photo from? Who just posted a random city?
I think it's literally an imaginary picture.
It's like what the Maldives could be with a. Oh no! Look,
$9 billion investment.
There you go. It's the whatever Male is.
No, Mali. That's real.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does exist.
Molly,
Dude,
I haven't heard that
Maldives.
name since
Look
2021.
at Clemente just spreading rumors.
It's an imaginary picture.
It's literally an island. Dude, none of us know about the Maldives, clearly. Dude, that place looks screwed, dude. One fucking bad wave comes through and that thing's gone.
A 4-foot wave knocks out the entire city.
That does not look good.
Rain, and there goes
I
the
like how the crowd's buying into. Yeah, it was just a concept image.
That is the situation there. What is going on? They don't have any other space. This is literally there's not a square foot of space available on this island.
There's 4 trees on this entire island.
We're gonna write a book on the Maldives, and we're gonna be growing up in there's more than 4, by the way, Ray. I can see there's a cluster of them up there in the middle area, Middle West. Zoom down, down. Keep going. They're right there. Look at that. That is a cluster of trees.
That's their Central Park.
It's so condescending and accurate. Dude, did they put a tennis court there? That's crazy. Dude, the fact that there's a soccer field, it's bro, can you guys act I can't believe that's incredible.
I apologize to the Maldivian listeners. We do not mean to come off as condescending here. Tell us all your fun stories from Mali.
Nilesh Karangutkar says that he's from the Maldives. That doesn't sound like a Maldivian name. I'm going to be honest.
What's an example of a Maldivian name?
I'll give you one. Bifan, Diddy, Monique, Naha,
Ahmed. Yeah.
Raha,
Ali.
Thakan. I don't know about Ali.
Ibrahim.
Anna is one of the biggest ones. Hassan is one of them. Nilesh is definitely not one of them.
I like how we thought the Maldives was just that one little like wooded island with the resort attached to it. Fly a little airplane.
We were like, isn't the Maldives just a bunch of overwater bungalows? Which was my joke last night. I was like, they got 9 billion. What are they gonna do with that? I still don't understand what they're gonna do with it. This feels like a money laundering scheme.
You could put a $9 billion skyscraper right in the middle of this. Shoot it just straight up.
Binance Alpha just listed, according to Choose Rich Live, launched the Boop token.
Ah, cool. According to the weather report about 20 minutes ago, we figured that out here too.
Damn. Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Zinger.
Sorry.
Yo, right from the top rope.
Let's take a look at the Boop token right now and see what's going on.
We can just wrap up, Ray. We can just wrap up.
Just
That's
end
the
that shit,
reason
Ray.
So one
Thank
of the
you all for
things I've
listening. It was a
noticed-
wonderful show. You
real
can watch
quick-
this podcast.
Real quick, one thing I've noticed, Ray, you don't know when to call it quits. And something I've been thinking about recently is that we should probably stop this at 35 minutes. See how it does. Give it a go. Just try to cut it hard and fast. Because otherwise we end up wasting time, and people like Edward Armando Escobar comes through and just starts
Yo,
talking
can you imagine
shit.
if the Maldives got like a hurricane? Like that shit is gone. I should see you. An earthquake, underwater. A 3.5
Well, they're
foot
saying that
wave.
the Maldives will be underwater, I believe, in like the next 10 years.
Yeah, interesting. So thank you
Let's
for that.
wrap on that fact, right?
Additional context to lengthen the show because you believe it is too long. Thank you all for listening on this Monday. We'll catch you the rest of this week, 9 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. Catch us back on all major podcasting platforms, Apple, Spotify. Watch us on YouTube. See what we're talking about. See all the pictures of the Maldives we are bringing up on screen.
Nick was
Gino
just
doesn't believe in the show
saying.
anymore.
Nick was saying that Cubans are eating dogs. Insane.